Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Harmony Gardening. I'm Kristen, and today I'm going to show you how to get your garden beds ready for spring. Now that it's finally stopped snowing, it went from really hot to snowing. Now it's beautiful and sunny again, so we can get out here and work. It's still a little bit cold. That's why I'm wearing a jacket and pants today. So the first thing that you want to do for your garden beds is you want to remove any of your irrigation. Now, my drip irrigation here, we have so much sediment in our water. It has just gotten plugged. I've tried to blow it out. It is not salvageable. So I'm going to remove it, and then I am just going to have to actually toss it because there is no salvaging it at all. I can't move it into another bed because we'll just end up having the exact same problem. So the first thing I'm doing is getting rid of this. The next step is I'm actually going to be removing all of the leaves from fall and all of the mulch from last year. The reason I'm doing this is because of the roly-polies. If you've seen my videos from last year, you'll know that they absolutely devastated my garden last year. And I am going to go ahead and remove this because I want the bed to dry out. And then once the season gets really hot and going, I will go ahead and put the mulch back. But it is a myth that roly-polies do not eat your plants. They most certainly do. They may be a little bit of decomposers, but if you've got young seedlings in here or any plants with tender leaves, they will eat them. So the first step is to remove all of this mulch, and we want to expose all of the soil underneath. And I'm going to try to get as much of this off as I can and try not to get my raspberry plants. And I'm going to be right back after I finish removing all of this mulch. All right, Donnie gave me a hand and we got almost all of the mulch off, but also revealed that we have a lot, I don't know if you can see these, raspberry plants in here. And there's also some, I think these might have been one of the sunflowers last year. Yeah, that looks like a sunflower. But some of these large stalks in here. Ooh, oh my goodness. Okay, that one is really big. Look at this. That's a sunflower root. So I'm going to take off as much soil as I can off of this so that I can go ahead and put it back into the planter. But what I need to do now is I need to dig up all of these raspberries. And you kind of want to loosen them up because they go down. Look at this. Look at this root system on this one too. It's not even all of it. But they are coming up from the plants over here and coming up into the bed. So I want to make sure that I remove all the raspberries out and all of the sunflowers from last year as well. So I'll be right back after I move all of those. Oh, and another tip, if you can dig one of these up pretty well intact, you can transplant these to another part of your garden. That's how I got all of this, was from transplants from another part of the garden. I want to show you this root system from the raspberries. They grow on what they're called rhizomes. And you'll see along this really, really long root system, you'll see that it sends up at different spots. There's one that got broke, and then like here's another one all the way down here at the bottom. It'll send up shoots everywhere. So only plant raspberries where you want them, or if you don't mind dealing with digging these up. Because I did a hugelkultur in this bed, which is putting logs and sticks and debris at the bottom and letting it break down over time, this bed sinks a lot more than my other beds. So I really have to top it off a lot more than I do my beds that are in the cinder blocks. Are kind of raised beds, but not really. So they're sitting directly on the soil, and I didn't do a hugelkultur with those. But the brands I use are Fox Farm and Roots Organics. And I like to mix the Happy Frog and also this is the Ocean and Forest together. And those make a really good blend. And then also the bulk of what I put in here is the 707, and it's got like bat guano and some other good stuff in there. And I've been doing this for years in my garden. So I'm just going to break open the bags. Pretty much just use a razor knife to do that. And then I'm going to just mix them up and I'm going to spread them around. Now, when I go to plant my plants, I will be adding in like rock dust and kind of my other fertilizers to get the plants off to a really good start. But all of this, you can see that it's beautiful, rich soil here. And you can see that in my garden bed too is really dark, rich soil because I've been taking such good care of it over the years. But I just slit these open and then I dump them out and I spread them around. And I do lightly dig them into the topsoil or the garden bed just to get mixed in a little bit. But I don't want to disturb the soil too much more than I have already done today by digging out some of the raspberries because I want to make sure that all of my worms that are in this bed stay safe. There's the first bag down. Now you can see how much that topped up this bed. In fact, I'm gonna have to spread it out a little bit more at this end because I got too much at this end. But it will settle in the next month or so before I actually start planting all of my plants in here because we're doing the Three Sisters method in this bed this year. So we're gonna be doing corn, beans, and squash. I can't remember exactly which squash I picked for in here, but it was something that I knew would do well growing underneath corn and could do well also not having to go up a trellis. Oh, there we go. That looks amazing. And this is all I have to do to get my beds ready for spring. Now I was going to show you cleaning up the raspberries, but it's a little cold out here. My nose is starting to run and I'm a little chilly still. So I'm gonna leave that for another time and probably show you guys on a short how I'm gonna clean this up like a before and after. But we've been having some really windy nights and these have just been blowing all over the house. Donnie and I's bedroom is behind that wall and we could hear it. And I think that's one of the first times that I've actually heard these moving around from the wind. It was a lot of wind. But next, I wanna show you what we're doing with all the mulch that we took off. Now that this bed is all done, I'm going to show you what we're doing with all of that mulch. So this is the project that I was telling you guys about that we're starting. And I thought, I have all of these leaves I've been raking out of our beds, and I've just been throwing them away. And I'm like, wait a second. If we're just taking out the grass and we're going to put down cardboard and then the bark mulch on top of it, I could take all the leaves and everything that I'm raking out of the beds and just put it right on the grass now. I don't actually have to get rid of it. And I felt bad about getting rid of it anyways. So we're starting to go ahead and we're gonna be putting it down on the grass and over here. Do you notice the big change behind me? There's something missing in the yard. We got rid of Sebastian's playset. Well, not rid of, we gave it to a friend. And so we took it away this weekend. And I mean, look at that. That's so much space. It's awesome. But I wanted to show you over here what I've started on this project. So we've been getting some cardboard boxes and we've been opening them up and putting them down. And I started doing this before I thought of the idea of, whoa, save the leaves, put them underneath. Because usually, like if we leave the piles in the yard too long, it kills the grass. So I thought, oh, well, hopefully it'll help kill the grass here too. So I'm going to be showing you in more detail what we're doing, but this is the very beginning of it. So now everything that's coming on my beds is not being wasted. Well, I hope showing you how I get my beds ready for spring gave you an idea of what you can do for yours. It's not really that intensive. It's just cleaning it up a little bit and digging in some new compost for the top of the bed and making it kind of look pretty. At least I think this looks really nice. It's very satisfactory to me. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Happy gardening, everyone.